Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 18 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Susan, Samantha, and Sophie. Yay! The S team, S Club 3. So they want to know, do I like One Direction? Because Sophie is a big fan. Okay, here's my answer. And we danced all night to the best song ever. I think that answers your question. I'm not a huge fan, just because, like, I don't listen to a lot of that type of music. But yeah, they have some catchy songs. I like that You Don't Know You're Beautiful one. That's fun, right? And that other one, that, like, slower one, Story of My Life. It's a good time. I could go on about this, but anyway, we have a lot of really good stuff to talk about. Seriously, guys, like, I'm looking this over, and there's some good shiz in here. Alright, so yesterday was the Power Veto competition. Zingbot is in the house! And it was a presidential election theme, Zingbot for President 2016. And everybody was playing in this competition except for Big Meech and Natalie was the host. So if Zingbot wasn't enough, it was also the punishments and rewards competition. So let's talk about the rewards first. Victor won the power of veto. James won $5,000, and Nicole won a trip to anywhere in the USA, and she has already said that she's taking Corey with her. That is really loud. She said that she's taking Corey with her. She wants to go to Hawaii. She's not sure if Hawaii is part of the U.S. I'm moving on. Let's talk about the punishments. Corey won the Patriotard. Polly is going to be baking some pies, and Paul is going to be a Secret Service agent. I'll have more on those punishments in a little bit. Don't worry, we're going to break it down. But first, we gotta talk about the freaking zings, man! So, I don't have these word for word, but I have at least the general idea of everyone's zings, and I think they actually do multiple zings for everyone, but we only get to see, like, one per person on the show. So, Paul, Zingbot was all, you have a lot of catchphrases, your boy, pissed, friendship, never cared, here's one for you, shut the F up! Zingbot dropped the F-bomb. Okay, Michelle. He called her out on being a puker and a crybaby. You know what, Michelle, if I was on the show, I would probably have a similar zing, so it's all good. Polly, Zingbot called him poor man's Cody. Ouch. Victor, I think it's best to zing you in Spanish, and then Zingbot said in Spanish, you are a douchebag. Okay. Nicole, Zingbot called her out on throwing her game away for Corey in, you know, I don't know what the words were exactly, but that's what he said, basically. And he told Corey, you can't sweep Nicole off her feet because Hayden already did. He called Natalie, like, ditzy or something, and maybe, like, mentioned her hairy armpits? I don't know, but Natalie was really upset about it. She was crying. And then last but not least, Zingbot mentioned James's pranks, but he said the only people you're really scaring are Natalie's parents. Ouch. I'm really excited to see this on the show, because it's always a good time. I don't think they had a celebrity come in this season, like no Kathy Griffin or anything, but Zingbot always delivers. So right after the POV competition, Paulie gets right to work. So he congratulates Victor on his POV win, and he's just like, I'm not going to campaign against any of the guys from the Alliance type thing, and he's telling Victor, I'd really appreciate it if you would use the power veto on Corey and put up somebody that I can campaign against, meaning a girl. Because Paulie would... He's just saying, like, he's not going to campaign against any of the guys. Corey is his boy. He's not going to do it. So he's not even saying use the power veto on me. He's saying use it on Corey. So then he's saying to Victor, I put you up with people you could campaign against. Come on, man. And Victor's like, you put me up against Paul, who's my boy, and Bronte, who was my teammate. I didn't want to campaign against her. But Victor's just like, I hear you, man. We'll see. Translation, no. Alright, so then Nicole and Corey were discussing the power veto competition, and Nicole's like, honestly, I'm glad that Paulie didn't win the veto because that that would mean that, Corey, you would probably be going home this week. So she's just like, yes, you're staying. So we lose Polly. You know, it's not the end of the world. So Corey's like, let's not get too excited because I could still go home. And Nicole's like, I don't know, you should definitely have at least 3 votes locked in. Herself, Natalie, and Michelle. Like, they're not going to vote for Polly to stay. Let's be real. So then Nicole brings up she was really surprised because Polly, during the competition, took the veto away from Corey. So, you know, it was like one of those dirty Santa situations where you could take a new prize or punishment or take somebody else's. And I guess they were out pretty early in the competition, and, you know, it was pretty obvious that if Polly took the veto that people were going to take it away from him. But Nicole is saying, and Corey is saying, that they thought maybe if Corey had the veto that the other guys wouldn't have taken it from him. So they thought it was a really selfish move on Polly's part to take the veto, especially since he's been saying that he wants Victor or whoever would win to use it on Corey. So they're not happy about that. But anyway, Corey goes to talk to Polly, and Polly is just like, man, I'm trying to get you off the block. I don't know if it's going to work. And Corey's like, well, maybe one of us will have the round trip ticket, doggy. Polly's like, oh no, man. Then he's talking about having everyone except the 2 of them open up their envelopes to see if they have a shot at having the round trip ticket. Come on, man. Stop it. So then Polly is really worried that people are going to talk crap about him when he's gone. He thinks that they're going to leave mean goodbye messages. So then he's just going on and on about Natalie and Michelle and how they're not good people. And he also says that out of everyone, he's the most hurt by James. And I'm assuming that's because James is good friends with Derek's father outside the house, and we know that Polly is like obsessed with Derek, so he thought that connection would bring them through the game, but not so. Alright, so then Polly and Nicole were chatting alone in the kitchen, and Polly's telling her that he's like this close to losing it. He can't eat, he can't sleep, so he's like on his way to a mental breakdown. And you know what, like, part of me feels really bad for him because it does seem like he's struggling, but at the same time, I really feel like he's trying to mess with people. So, you know, that cynic in me is saying, like, no. Alright, so he's saying now, if he doesn't have the round trip ticket, or if he's in the jury house, you know, he's evicted and he's in the jury house, and there's not really a sign that there's going to be a jury buyback or anything after he spent like a week or 2 in there, he's just going to leave the jury house. Wow, sore loser much? And Nicole's just like, no, Cody wouldn't like that. Like, don't do that. So then, a little while later, Polly is telling Nicole, Corey, and Paul that he's like clinically claustrophobic, and his psychiatrist told him you'd really be playing with fire if you went on a show like this where you're like locked up. And he said he lied about this whole thing during the casting process to get on the show. What is going on? I'm not going to judge anyone on, like, their mental stuff, because, like, everybody's got problems, whatever. But I just don't understand why he's, like, saying that he can't stay in the jury house, but he can stay in the Big Brother house. He's saying that he's distracted by the game in the Big Brother house, but I just... no. Alright. But again, like, let's not attack people for, like, mental stuff, because that's not cool. Alright, so, a little while later, Corey gets his Patriotard costume, and he's going to be wearing that for 1 week. So the costume, he's got like this American flag unitard, he's got this American flag tall hat, he's got a flag cape, he's got some red shorts so he doesn't have to show off the package 24/7. But the best part of this costume, so he has to cover up both of his hands. On one hand, he's got this friggin' eagle puppet. He's got his hand shoved up his butt. And then on the other hand, he has this tall, like, Zingbot sign, like a campaign sign. So he can only take these things off of his hands when he's sleeping or when he's eating. But he still has to wear one of them while he's showering. So he's got to, like, hang it out over the door. Oh my god! That's great. I'm like obsessed with the eagle. I think it's amazing. So also, if he wants to go swimming, they're gonna give him a special bathing suit and like maybe swimming cap or something for the pool. All right, that's great. You gotta think that Nicole is loving that her and Corey are both wearing costumes this week. Okay, so Natalie, James, and Victor were chatting in the London bedroom, and Victor's all, mission accomplished, like I won this power veto, we locked in these nominations. He is not planning on using the POV on Corey or Pauly. So they're feeling really good about how things are going this week. They're going to get rid of Pauly. It's smooth sailing. And then Victor's like, don't hate me, guys, but I want to win a few more competitions so that I can like beat the record. And then Natalie's like, I really want to win an HOH because I want to make a big move. And they're just like, that's cute, Natalie. I would love to see Natalie win an HOH. No, they are encouraging her. But anyway, Victor is saying that he wants to go to Final Four with them and Paul. This is something that they've kind of talked about a little bit, but they don't want to push it too much right now. But Natalie and James are very receptive. They agree. They want to do Final Four, but they also say, like, they agree with Victor that they need to focus right now on, you know, following through this week on getting rid of Pauly, and then next week going for Nicole and Corey. All right. So now it's time for Paul to get his punishment costume. So he will be spending 1 week as a Secret Service agent. This was freaking amazing. I'm obsessed with this punishment. It's everything. So Paul comes out of the diary room in this freaking black suit. He's got a black tie. He's got some dark sunglasses and an earpiece, like a Secret Service person. And he's got to wear this costume at all times, including when he's asleep. But again, like Corey, he's going to have a special bathing suit for swimming. And when he does go swimming, he still has to wear his tie and his sunglasses. So this is not just a costume. There's like a whole punishment that goes with this. So whenever the red alert alarm goes off over the loudspeaker, he's got to complete like this 2-phase check. So first phase, he has to track down each house guest throughout the house and pat them down and be like, house guest 1, cleared, blah, blah, blah. Okay, phase 2, after he does that, he's got to go and visit, I think it's 5 different checkpoints throughout the house. And he's got to go to each one and be like, checkpoint 1, all clear. Checkpoint 2, all clear. It's hilarious. At the same time, like, this is a punishment for everybody because he's got to pat everyone down, like, throughout the night, whatever. But I just think that Paul is, like, the best person to get this punishment because he's really embracing it, and it's freaking hilarious. Okay, so let's get back to Pauly. He is having a rough go of it. He's just like, I can't freaking sleep. I can't sleep in a bed by myself right now. So he is sharing Corey's twin-size bed. And that's like a lot of dude in one twin-size bed. I mean, just like spatially. But Nicole is giving Pauly a pep talk. She's just like, your family loves you. They want to hug you. So she's trying to encourage him. She's telling him maybe if you go, you'll have the round trip ticket, or like maybe there's going to be a jury buyback. And she's telling him like, maybe it would be good for you to have a few days out of the house, like on my first season, also Cody and Derek's season. I was out of the house for a few days and then I came back and I felt so great about it. Yeah, it really worked out for you. But yeah, she's trying to encourage him, which is great. But she's, you know, she's got some motives here, some game motives. She was talking to Corey earlier about this. She is worried that Pauly could end up self-evicting, and in that case, they would probably still have an eviction. And she's worried that Corey would be the one going home. So she does not want Pauly to self-evict. All right. So then Pauly goes back into campaign mode. He's trying to reel in Michelle. They were chatting in the safari room for freaking forever. So Michelle is like, maybe I could give you a sympathy vote or something. Really? No? I hope she's joking. But Pauly's like, no, I don't want any votes to go against Corey if it's the two of us up on the block. Like, I want all the votes on me. So then Pauly's telling her about his plan. He's going to try and get Victor to use the power veto on Corey. put up Natalie in his place, and Michelle's like, I'm gonna be real with you right now. Natalie is like one of my best friends right now, and I'm not gonna vote against her. That's just how it is. So at the same time, she's encouraging him, like, do what you gotta do. I don't want to see you roll over and die. So then Paulie starts telling her about his claustrophobia and his therapy and how he's scared of going to jury. Again, I just feel like, you know, we haven't heard about this until now. He's definitely trying to use that to his advantage, trying to appeal to people on a more human side. Give me a damn break. I'm sorry. It's just like too much. So then Paulie is proposing a group, you know, an alliance to Michelle. He's like, I need your vote. Wouldn't it be great if you, me, Nicole, and Corey could work together? You mean like the alliance you had before? And then you turned your back on Michelle? Yeah. So then Michelle's like, it's not a yes, but it's not a no. Like, I need to think about it. Ugh. All right. So then Natalie, James, and Paul are chatting, and they're getting a little bit worried about Meech because they saw that she was talking to Paulie for a really long time, and they've seen in the past she's easily swayed. A couple weeks ago, she was like this close to using the veto on Frank. So they're worried about that, and she has already told them that she feels bad for Paulie, so they're just like, ugh, maybe we should have kept Bridget. But Paul is saying, you know what? We have the votes this week to get rid of Paulie, even if Michelle does flip. So, like, if she flips, we know that we can't trust her, but we'll see. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world if she does flip. We need to keep an eye on her. So Natalie is like, yeah, I will, you know, kind of poke around, see if she talks about the conversation with me tomorrow when we're out tanning. All right, so let's talk about today. Paulie took another shot at getting Victor to use the power veto. It's just like, it's too much. So he's telling Victor, I've completely checked out of this game. I'm not going to campaign against any of my boys. And he's saying that he's not going to make the pies for his punishment, which we haven't really touched on, but don't worry, we'll get there. But he's saying, like, yeah, I'll take all the penalty votes and refuse to make any of the pies. So he's trying to say, like, he's going to be leaving the house anyway, but it'd be really cool if you could put up Natalie, because then, you know, I won't have to roll over and die. I can campaign a little bit. But he's saying, like, still, Natalie wouldn't go home, people aren't going to vote her out, and she'll have fun with being up on the block. What the frig are you talking about? In what world would she have fun being up on the block against you? But Victor is finally just like, you know what? I don't want to take that chance, because you would definitely have at least 2 votes in Corey and Nicole, and I don't feel comfortable taking that chance. Like, this is how it's happening. It is what it is. You had a chance to win the veto. I'm sorry. It's a game move. So I got a lot of respect for Victor for holding his ground here. So then, oh my god, Paulie makes a bad decision here. He was saying, like, yeah, I got to play in the veto, but it was a crapshoot. And Victor's getting really annoyed because Paulie keeps dismissing this competition win. And Victor's like, stop calling it a crapshoot. Like, I won this competition fair and square. Stop it. You know that, like, Paulie and Victor are super competitive when it comes to, like, the number of competition wins. So it's just like another moment. So then Victor is like, it shouldn't matter who you're going up against if you're saying that you're going home anyway. So, like, why should it matter if you're up against Corey or Natalie? And Paulie's like, well, I don't want to be up against my boy. Like, it really just sucks being up on the block. And Victor's like, yeah, I know, because I was up against Paul and then I went home. Remember when you backdoored me? Yeah. All right, so this whole conversation was pretty awkward, but they ended up hugging it out at the end. You know this isn't over. So then Paul and Paulie were talking, and Paulie's got this new campaign strategy. It's just getting worse and worse. So Paulie is all, I'm not campaigning against Corey, but if I was going to... Oh my god. So he's like, Paul, you and Victor are tight right now, but you're going to have to go against each other at some point. Are you going to be able to take out Victor? So now Paulie is saying, like, I can beat him in competitions. I might be the only person in here who can take out Victor. I cannot believe this is happening. But then Paulie has a similar conversation with James, and he's just like, do you think you're going to be able to take him out? Come on, man. You know that they're going to go back and tell Victor, and they do. let's be real here. Okay, so in other news, Natalie was upset today because she overheard Corey talking about partying after the season's over with James. She doesn't like that. She says she feels fat right now, which isn't helping the situation. But you know what? James and Natalie talk it out. It's all good. Moving on. Let's talk about Paulie again. He got his instructions for his pie baking punishment. This is supposed to go on for the rest of the season. So, like, till Thursday. Unless Paulie has the round trip ticket. But basically, whenever Baby Zingbot sings, "Oh, say can you see?" Paulie has to bake a pie. So they gave him all these freaking awesome pie making supplies. Like, hook me up with that because I love to bake. But he's got to make a pie. And when he puts that baby in the oven, he's got to set the timer for 40 minutes, wave the American flag around until it goes off. And then after it's all done, he's got to wash all the dishes that he used. So they also gave him a dope-ass apron and chef hat. But Paulie is like, oh my god, he is not taking this punishment well. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. I'm telling you, the campaigning is getting even worse. Just wait until tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about all this nonsense. And until tomorrow, much love.